What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome on back. It's more good old North American Dota action here as we've got Mars Dota 2 League coming at you right now. We are playing through the qualifier to find out which team is going to be able to head off to the MDL Major. Big money and big DPC points are on the line, and everybody wants a piece of that frickin' pie. I'm Dakota here with Beyond the Summit in the back warehouse. My hands are cold and feeling a little wet, but it's okay. I'm joined remotely by my good buddy Lacoste, all the way from Croatia, just chilling out, hanging in the long hours. I appreciate you being here, my friend. How you doing? Again.
I'm good, man. I'm warm. It's pretty warm in my house. Why my girl likes to warm. I'm sweating a lot, so sweaty and wet. So we're brothers. We're wet bandits, man.
I was just gonna say, what is it? Not the wet brothers. It's the wet bandits.
It's wet bandits,
the
yeah.
Wet bandits. Okay, I like that. I like that. So here we are. We're getting into game number 2. First game, kind of a clinic there by compLexity. They seem to kind of know what their priorities were. You know, a lot of it seemed to be built up behind Moo having a very successful laning phase, being that big Uberlord siege engine. But I mean, was it more of compLexity's like kind of know-how and intentions for game number 1, or do you think GoPRO kind of let that one slide away?
Well, they are a team with international experience, major experience, and on the other side you have a team with Scourge McDuck only. that I know of. Just kidding. Well, definitely there's a better team, but they can upset. There's always an upset chance in Dota. I don't think Dota was ever at this point where playing as an underdog could be this good. There's so many tournaments to play, and
there's a lot of teams now too. I don't remember ever a time where I've been I've always been really invested in Dota, and especially American Dota. And I feel like any American Dota team, like I will know a fair amount of the players because they've been maybe playing in NEL or any of IX Mike's like in-house leagues. I probably peeped in and saw like the upcoming Ritsu or Sumel's coming on the scene or Bryle, for example. But here, who the hell are these guys? Scrooge McDuck, Froogs, Husky. On one hand, I feel like that sounds very negative, like who the hell are you? But part of me is like, I want to see these guys maybe perform, and then I'm forced to find out who the hell they are, and we can really appreciate this new depth of talent that are in the that's in the American Dota scene,
Yeah, I'm always up for new teams, especially those who tend to stick together, not just try if something works out and disbands, which NA is really popular of. I'm not saying Europe is better at it. Like competition in Europe, I always talk about the competition between tier 1 and tier 2 scene. Like seems like tier 2 scene in Europe is kind of dead at the moment, which makes me sad because I'm from Europe, and Europe is a strong region. What do you mean, blah? Is it lifestyle or
you're
gyro
from Europe?
or
you're
just,
from Europe? You sound like you're from Georgia. Okay, you're from Europe. Yeah, you're right, though. It's like, what do you got? Your Liquid, your Secret, and your Virtus Pro. It's like they're on top of the mountain. But then after that, like maybe Navi. Navi's there.
Yeah.
Cinderen's team, this era team.
Yeah, but there's a huge difference between these. Like Kinguin was shining at one point, but then they kind of disappeared from the scene. That the problem is with tier 1 teams, I'm gonna call them, is being inconsistent. There's a lot of teams who are tier 2 because of inconsistency. Like one day they could beat any team in the world, on the other day they can lose to any team, which is not good. So the consistency is the biggest key to victory.
Consistency is key. Put that on a shirt.
All right. So I didn't talk about Cole. Moo actually took the captain's seat compLexity since Kyle left.
Yeah, that's true. I actually am curious who's because we know Kyle. Like Kyle had to be the mouth of that team without question. This is a guy who's very vocal, very passionate. We've seen them in the competitive booths, like all hurtled around, rallied behind the loud voice that is Kyle.
Yeah, he's yelling. Even if you're in a house with him, he's just there yelling for no reason. I was at the same house with them when they had a boot camp, so like you can hear Kyle at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. just shouting random words like lifesteal or whatever, just like
So who's
I don't
that
know.
voice now? Or is there just no voice, and now they're just kind of accepting that they're going to have a whole new style of leadership and captaining, which is probably a style that most teams out there have utilized. I don't think there's too many like real loud kind of captains, passionate kind of captains out there, but you know, Cole is giving it a shot, and from what we can see here, they put that captain's hat onto the head of Moo. So we'll see how his draft pans out. We're seeing kind of a throwback here from the previous game. Already the Bounty Hunter, again the first grab for Kitrek. I don't know much about Kitrek as it is. Maybe Bounty Hunter is his best hero. You know, they're like, as long as they're going to give us Bounty Hunter, we're just going to take it. But it worked out pretty well for him last time. He had a lot of shakes, had a lot of moves to kind of poke at the various lanes, and the track came online, and he put it to work right away.
10 seconds
Yeah, I don't feel Bounty Hunter this patch to be very strong because they moved the mid towers closer to each other, so he doesn't have that much space to perform.
Oh, that's a good point.
Like he can be active on different lanes, yeah, but mid is not that threatened by rotations coming out from Bounty. So we have a Dragon Knight and a Life Stealer. Both are kind of counter to each other. Like Dragon Knight has a lot of armor, but Life Stealer is good against these tanky heroes. Mm-hmm. So Elder Titan, one of the better heroes in general against these tanky cores. Gyro, who has also a lot of armor built into this agility items.
Yeah, I would give a slight nod to Life Stealer on like the man up like fighting style, but Dragon Knight is a little better in like the objective gaming front, being able to kind of get the towers down and push the game forward. So they could just build behind that.
He comes online way faster than a Life Stealer. So probably it's gonna be most of the teams prefer to have Gyro on mid, but with the Dragon Knight, they can still swap things around easily.
Well, look who it is. Little Dark Willow has somehow found her way through this whole draft, and that little thing has popped up here. This time it's going to be on complexity's side.
Well, what's the name of that fairy from Peter Pan?
Tinkerbell.
Tinkerbell, yeah, this is Tinkerbell,
it's
right?
It's definitely it's like Tinkerbell, and she's like a plant or something, right?
And George Clooney. I don't know.
George Clooney. Ocean's 11 in there. It's very like, there's a lot of plant-like thing going on there. I don't know. I'm curious about the lore behind Dark Willow. I don't even think the name fits the character. She doesn't look like she'd be a Dark Willow. She looks like she'd be
like Shy Willow.
Yeah, I don't know, just like Green Willow or like Pixie Princess or something. I don't know. It's definitely not very Dark Willow looking, but she's
harmless Willow. Yeah, I don't know.
She's not harmless though, man. You see, like you said, she's got like 4 ultimates that she's packing here. She's a beast. I mean, she's like very nice on the first date, and then you take her back to her bedroom, and she's a fucking freak. She's got whips and chains up on the wall. She's tying you up, and you're like, what the hell happened here? Dark Willow. Oh my God.
Oh man, I missed you.
So she's crazy, man. I mean, that last game was my first time casting a Dark Willow. And even though she was kind of on the losing end of that game, you could see the potential was there. And here, GoPRO, look at this. They grab up the good old Abaddon here. It will help against the stuns and the lockdown of a rocket, of a dragon tail. It will remove track. This is like a, pretty good utility for the team.
Yeah, so the other day I was having a conversation with myself about whether he should be pronounced Abaddon or Abaddon.
He says...
I came to a conclusion that it's Abaddon.
Oh, what?
It feels more natural to me.
Okay, all right. I'm pretty sure he himself says Abaddon. But,
Does he?
I think so. We missed it now. He's already picked, but I'm pretty sure he says Abaddon. But that's like the old faithful basil, tomato kind of a thing. I mean, I've always been under the impression that when I'm cooking, I'm saying basil. But then I'm hearing Gordon Ramsay over here say basil, and I'm rethinking my whole life. So I don't know.
Yeah, nothing makes sense anymore. Yeah. Like, how could I live so far with being wrong? So Abaddon or Abaddon is a really good counter. Pretty much all of her spells good counter against Dragon Knight as well. It removes the track, so should be a good pickup. They only need to to secure a Baron's lane, the same thing the complexity did in game number 1. So I expect Elder Titan to be at start with a Baron.
Okay.
They need something that's good against Dragonite, Gyro, Dark Willow. So I think OD is a good pickup for a GoPro team.
Ooh, OD, huh?
OD is not. He has Arcane Orb, which is pure, so not. He doesn't care about Dragonite's armor.
I'm going to throw something out because, you know, I'm new. I'm back in the scene again. How about Razor? Let's see. Okay, Queen of Pain, way off on that one. But, you know, what do you think? It doesn't really fit that profile like you were talking about. I mean, she can hang in the late game a bit, but can she really deal the damage necessary to be able to blow past a Gyrocopter and a Dragon Knight on this one? Maybe it feels more momentum-based, like they're hoping to kind of get a very strong mid-game performance out of this Queen of Pain and almost snowball their way through. Well, what do you think, man? What do you think of the Queen of Pain?
I still think OD could have been a better pick. Plus, now you're stuck to play against the Broodmother. This is a free Broodmother game. They have nothing to clear the spiders with. Like with the magical resistance, Queen of Pain doesn't counter it. Rubik deals some damage, reduces the damage, but it's hard. It's really hard. Like I guess the best thing they can do is put a Baron in the lane against the Broodmother. That's it. As considering Queen of Pain as the last pick, like I'm not sure which matchup she's gonna get, but it's gonna be hard. This Lifestealer will need to build into different kind of items to deal with the early aggression coming out from Broodmother. So I don't expect them to have Radiance. What is Gyro, man? What is that huge fish?
I was getting ready to get into that in a moment, but I know you were talking about a lot of smarts there. And in the dirty last pick of the Broodmother, something else. But what the hell is happening with this Gyrocopter set right now? They have really taken the hats and turned them up into really another dimension. It's just like a giant man beast. I miss the old days of West Virginia. Look at him. He looks like he's like steampunked, out of control.
It feels like he's riding a robotic Slardar. I don't know what the hell that is.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. It's like a whole new creature here. I'm excited to see it perform. Maybe it's got some fun little looking rockets right here. My hat game has not been what it used to be, and the game has changed as far as cosmetics go. But let's get into it now, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in to game number 2. Buckle up. It's GoPro versus complexity in the lower bracket of Group B for the MDL American Qualifier. I hope you made sense of all of that. This is complexity's chance to kind of push on forward and be able to get a rematch opportunity against maybe Optic Gaming in hopes to, you know, eventually qualify and make it out to represent America at the MDL LAN. It's going to be a tough road ahead of them. Lots of qualifiers, lots of tournaments happening, guys. Between like every LAN, it feels like there's like 3 or 4 events stacking their qualifiers on top of each other, like MDL, Star Series, the next GESC. It's crazy. If you love Dota, this is a great time because you're just going to be seeing it nonstop.
Yeah, seems like 2017/8 is the best time that we had for Dota. Like, there's so much Dota to watch. Some are even complaining that there's too much Dota. There's no such thing.
Like, late 2018 is probably going to be Fortnite, but for now, we'll stick with Dota 2 because that's what seems to be.
that game is gonna last, man, for a half of a year.
All right, we'll
understand that it's pretty garbage and childish and come back to Dota. Thank you.
Here we have complexity weaseling their own childish play as they grab 3 bounty runes now. They get Kitrek into the action. They poke back GoPro a bit. They'll take the early bounty rune advantage here, and we'll see how the lanes fizzle out. Okay, Moo with the off-lane Dragon Knight. Now, forgive me if this is my ignorance and just being away from the game, but off-lane Dragon Knight, that's a thing now? That's just a thing, or is this a new thing?
It's a thing.
Okay,
like, Dragon Knight can be played at any lane, pretty much.
Fair enough.
Most of the time, he gets help from one of the heroes early on, so he gets the levels using Dragon Blood and Breathe Fire.
Uh-oh.
He can. All right. Uh-oh.
Lots of pressure top lane, and it's going to be easy first blood just like that. A lot of the courtesy coming out from none other than little Dark Willow herself with that ridiculous cursed crown. Yay.
Yay, what a spell. It's an
funny.
AoE stun for 2 seconds. Why not? Because why not, right?
You know, it has time to charge. I'm sure that's where the balance comes in.
I'm not sure about that. Like, so Broodmother sitting on 7-1 CS 4 on Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain doesn't even want to skill Shadow Strike. There's no point. Broodmother has too much of a region and really doesn't influence Broodmother at all. So this is gonna be a huge problem for them. Even with the Scream of Pain, like once it gets to level 3, level 5, 150, 225 damage is still not enough to kill the spiders.
Yeah, this could definitely hinder the Queen of Pain's momentum that she was kind of hoping to pull off. The last pick Brood, always a bit of a devastating one. Here we go again, top lane. The missile's already out. The stun's coming in, and it is going to be secured. Second blood now coming out for compLexity, and they want more. Moving right on into action, they will secure a twofer for Limp, making it a double.
Yeah, did you see that? Limp was using Flask before he even reached the tower. He wanted to tank the tower. That should not be in the game. I don't know. I talked to Grant about it. He hates it. I kind of hate it as well. Like, if you have a healing Flask, salve, whatever, if someone is healing you and the other guy punches you in the nuts, you should still, like, take the damage. And I don't know. It just doesn't feel natural.
Do you think anything should be able to cancel the salve, or is it still okay if neutrals cancel? Okay. I hear you. It definitely makes salves feel a lot more precious and something you actually have to kind of care for and use. But this Missile Cursed Crown combo coming out is very annoying. Even though they have the Abaddon and they have the benefit of the shield, it's still feeling like not enough. They're going to need more time and more levels to be able to make it work, and they still could be under fire here. Kittrick is coming back into action right now. Could be putting their focus. There goes the shield. Here comes the Cursed Crown. Limp is looking to make his move in. The Rocket Barrage, and that'll be it. Another takedown. 3 of them now for this top lane.
Yeah, the Abaddon is not a hero that plays well from behind, especially when he gets countered in the laning stage like that. And the mid is starting to be a problem. Look at this Broodmother. Queen of Pain needs to run back. Broodmother's gonna be able to farm neutrals. If he feels threatened by something, he can always skip the creep wave, and they don't have the best heroes to deal with the Broodmother. Like Elder Titan has no spell. He's only level 1 though, so even with the Echo Stomp, it's really hard to stun a Brood because she's so speedy.
Definitely trying to pull at least some sort of attention this way, but if they're forced to pull the Elder Titan to the mid lane, that is just going to leave the Abaddon even in a worse amount of pain potentially in that top lane. And now we're not even see the Abaddon hanging out in the lane. He's hanging in the jungle, and of course he's going to get stalked from Kittrick, who shows up, snipes the Centaur from under his nose, and will now begin to poke him in the back, forcing the shield out. This is just Povertyville right now, it feels like, for the Abaddon. He's going to have to really climb it on up. Even the bounty room going to be sniped away from the bounty hunter.
Yep, time to go to jungle with the Abaddon level 2. That doesn't just feel right.
Not at all. Oh, nice clarity. Takes it away. And now he has to go to the lane without the mana resources here. Very tough. Top is all but a loss right now for GoPro. Weighing a bit onto the... What the hell?
Says Rubik. Yeah, that's
that chat wheel. That's a chat
thing.
wheel line, right?
Yeah, that's from Dota Plus.
Very nice. Dota Plus dorks. Do you have Plus?
Do I have it?
Yeah.
No, I don't need it. I'm not a scrub.
Oh, all right. I got it. I am a scrub. Bottom lane. Stomp on the Moo here. Snoozing a bit, but now looks to weasel his way out. He eats the tango. He's got the regen, but they get him with the telekinesis. That means he can pop the TP, and he's gone. Ooh, nice quick-witted reaction. He was holding out for that telekinesis, waits for it, and is going to get rewarded. They maybe should have pursued him a little bit longer, but he's able to make it away.
Yeah, that's why Dragon Knight as an offline is such a strong hero. Like with level 2 Dragon Blood, 6 health, 6 armor.
All right, here's
on
their
level
chance
2.
to try to pull it back. Lacoste in the mid lane. They're trying to make a move for Chessie here. Last game, so successful in taking him down multiple times on the Death Prophet here. A swing and a miss on the first go, or not. A move in from Husky. Hits him with the screen, but he doesn't have anything else of a follow-up yet. Not going to be able to get the finish. They'll have to let that one go. In the meantime, it's yet another takedown on the Abaddon in that top lane. Limp just continues to swell on up on that gyrocopter.
Yeah, the Abaddon seems like a non-factor. He's gonna have recovering. Meanwhile, on the mid lane, I love Pain, double null, Ring of Bassi, just keep the creeps alive for a bit longer if possible, so it doesn't push that fast with the Broodmother. So what is Broodmother going to go for? So that's a Medallion, pretty standard build. The problem is Broodmother farms both lane and jungle simultaneously.
Yeah. Chessie sporting level 7. We'll lose a creep or 2 here to Husky. Husky still not level 6. Would definitely love the benefit of that Sonic Wave if possible, but now just going to be forced to blink back and away. Back in the bottom lane, though. We got a gang fight breaking out right in the middle of the river here. A 3-on-3. First attention going to be put onto Froogs. They take him out. The Abaddon is going to be... Oh, sorry. The Elder Titan is going to be going down. Scourge trying to get the lock onto Zach here, but Z-Freak not having any of it. And that looks to be the end of it. They disperse with only the 1 casualty.
Still a decent trade. I mean, there's no trade. I mean, still good for complexity. The rotations, they can leave.
Oh, Batten dies again in the top lane,
Yeah, nice again. Look at this. Healing salve, clarity. They don't care. Even a Batten's gonna complain about, like, I need 2 minutes to check what clarity does. Can you cancel it? Can you cancel
2 minutes,
the salve?
I need to go
I need
outside.
to go to Wikipedia. Yeah.
It's like, I gotta fucking breathe right now. What is happening in this lane? I am getting fucking wrecked. He's down 5 kills now. Strug City, level 3.5. This is gonna take a little bit of a evaluation here. You're looking at.
All right, quick math.
Yeah.
Let's go. 7 minutes, 7 seconds, and 5 deaths. What's that average per minute?
That's like what? 70% of a minute? I don't know. That's about, I don't know, I would say like 0.7, 0.6 of a kill every minute. I don't know. That's my probability.
That was not correct, but it was fast.
What is it? What is it? Tell me. Get your calculator out. Your Croatian calculator out right now and tell me.
Just a moment. What did I even ask? 7?
Right. How many average deaths a minute for 5 and 7 minutes? Carry the 2.
So pretty much every 80 seconds he dies.
Okay. Well, it's been about...
Which is not bad. Like, it could be worse. Like, you can die every...
That's true. That's true. Could see some potential trouble here. Scourge getting poked quite a bit from Z-Freak in the woods, but looks like no follow-up is going to be there at the moment. Touch base back in mid lane. Chessie is gladly farming away on the nearby Ancient camp. And up and above, our friend Abaddon is back into action here. He's level 4, but he does not have that level 6 extra life. He's been spotted, and he will fall. And you know what? I'm looking at Kittrack here. He's also pretty low level. He's actually lower than that Abaddon. Meanwhile, mid lane, looks like a stomp on to Chessie. Chessie to the high ground. Very low on life, but is going to be able to weasel around from the trouble here. But yeah.
I'll tell you why Kittrack is such a low level, man. Killing a Abaddon.
Oh, Z-Freak in a bit of trouble, will be put down. That is going to be the first kill for GoPRO in this one. Husky picks it up.
So Queen of Pain is doing a good job in keeping up with Broodmother's farm. She's sitting at pretty much the same CS, which is nice. She has a blink ready. All right, she just died. The amount of the damage from Medallion and the Dragonite stun plus all the Spiderlings, way too much damage for it.
I was actually busy watching our good boy, the Abaddon over here. He gets dropped yet again. Was not expecting that Queen of Pain to fall so fast in the mid lane, but it is 2 kills across the board coming the way of complexity, and they're going to turn it into potentially a follow-up tier 1. No shenanigans coming out from the Elder Titan on that high ground, but he could be caught here. Kittrack's nearby. Going to be spotted. Are they going to think about making a move on the little Elder Titan here? Moo is on the low ground, but they do not want to kind of make it obvious that they have this insight. Well.
So, Abaddon had enough. 0-7-0. It's almost a James, not as good. Like, this is some Steven Seagal, James Bond. I don't know.
Steven Seagal, James Bond, 2 iconic heroes / characters, but I don't know if they've been in anything together, have they?
No.
I imagine like James Bond is an actor. I don't think Steven Seagal has been in a James Bond film, though.
He was not, man. Imagine Steven Seagal being a James Bond. Like, that's worse than being a Abaddon. 7-0.
That probably would not be a very great movie. Unless he was the bad guy. Oh, top lane. Our friend, the Abaddon, is in trouble, and he does not have that level 6. He is going to get popped. Kittrick will pick up the last little poke and hit. Cole continue to just get what they want and make it out. It is now 11-1. Well, now it's 11-2.
Snipe.
There we go. Nice play there from Husky. Gets the little takedown of the annoying bounty hunter. But just a small fruitful kill. Back here on the bottom lane. A little bit of flirting happening here between Scourge, McDuck, Save, and our two friends on the complexity side. Our lifestealer during this whole time, though, Lacoste, has been really trying to just play out this economy game, building towards that Radiance.
Yeah, it feels like he doesn't think it's necessary for him to go for early items, which is going to cost him a life. He had 17 sticks. He could have used that to keep him alive. This tri-core strat from complexity really paying off. Like, you have a Dragonite who's going to do the same thing just a couple of minutes later than if he was a mid hero. Then you have a Broodmother who's getting closer to that Orchid, which is going to be really hard for Queen of Pain to actually keep her alive. They have a Baton, yes, but he's level 5 with 8 deaths, which is not as great, so he's gonna have a hard time actually doing something. He needs to be mobile, active early on, get some farm. This is gonna open up towers for complexity with that Dragonite ulti on bottom. It's gonna be a free tower. Even Gyro decided to go for Mask of Madness, which is not the item for Gyro anymore.
Not typically, but
yeah.
What does that say? That he's like going to be comfortable just accelerating farm that much faster?
Yeah, I guess they feel comfortable enough so they can go around with the items.
Moves on Chessie here in the mid lane. It's a 4-on-1. Kittrick is nearby, but it's a Broodmother, and she is just defying the laws of the terrain, hopping up and down and away, and they can't go that. They can't do that. They can't do those things.
They only have two stuns. They have Rubik Lift and they have Echo, like, which is pretty hard to pull off on a hero like a Broodmother. If you get close, she can just run away. She doesn't even have it, man.
Okay, Kittrick spotted here. Do they have dust to be able to make anything work? Doesn't look like it. In the meantime, Cole have spotted a pretty nice stack. I'm not sure if they made it for themselves or not, but they are going to continue to just build in that bit of farm. I'm going to take an early peek at this net worth graph. Ooh. Oh, yeah, God. It's going down real far. It's nearly 10K of a net worth advantage at the moment for complexity right now, and it just seems to keep going down their way.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel like they can do something. Since Lifestealer decided to go for Radiance, it just doesn't feel like his hero at this moment. And you have a Baton, so basically these fights are gonna be hard to execute. They don't have anything to start a fight with. Again, Dragonite has a blink, so he's gonna blink on Queen of Pain. Let me finish this up. So Queen of Pain dies. A Baton already used. That's gonna be a quick death.
Yeah, it was. Oh my God, they just came out from the trees. It was like guerrilla warfare right onto that poor little unsuspecting Queen of Pain, and now the rest of the team feeling it, have to pull back. Complexity, like sharks in the water, begin to surround this tier 2 turf. Now making a move in for the Abaddon. He does have that ultimate now, though. He will live, and he will walk his way back inside the base, but not before a rocket pops him on the ass. And Complexity are going to get the free space to work through this tier 2, no problem. In the meantime, Scourge is trying to make some work himself up on the top. Going for a tier 1, spots out Z-Freak on that Dark Willow. Here comes the Elder Titan ultimate. Nice catch, pulls in Z-Freak, but you know, it's a lot of firepower just to take down that support.
Yeah, still a good chunk of money for a Lifestealer. 400 gold, he's gonna get the top, which is gonna give him money for Relic. Not the worst time for Radiance, considering how his team is doing.
Back at mid, Chessie's home turf, still falling pretty deep, but just behind him here, Limp in a bit of trouble. He's going to be able to help his brother out. No! Limp gets easily handled here between 4 GoPro members, and Chessie's going to head the other direction. Nice little pickup again here for GoPro. This feels very reminiscent of the previous game. I felt like almost at the same moment, you know, GoPro were able to find a couple of kills for themselves, but here we are back the other direction yet again. Just as fast as they're able to get kills, they lose Husky, their Queen of Pain, and they could potentially lose more. Abaddon forced to pop the ulti here, gets himself back in his side, tries to save with the shield, and will be able to do so.
What a play there. Dragon Knight blinks in, stuns the Abaddon, so he can't remove the Orchid with the shield, and they manage to take down Queen of Pain just in time.
Very nice. Good heads-up play from Moo. Favoring that early initiation. It looks like he's got the Force Staff, I imagine, afterward being a Hurricane Pike, more utility. Very nice. Cole just back to the grind now. Scourge is trying to be the lone hope, or one of the big hopes for GoPro here. Radiance would certainly help, but it's not going to stop compLexity from seeking opportunities here, as we see Kitrek continues to be on the prowl with Track at the ready. Frug should be careful here before invading too deep. Oh, what's this? From behind, Kitrek may spot save here. While that happens, though, the stomp goes out from Frug, so he could be spotted on the other front. And this could be a bit of a pinch here in the top lane.
And they're trying to make something happen. The Lifestealer is getting close to a Radiance, which can turn things around, especially against her like Broodmother.
Hard move coming in from GoPro in the top lane. While this happens, Chessie is squaring up with the Queen of Pain in the middle lane, but we see the action now breaking out. Scourge immediately goes for the TP. He wants no part of this, and it's a full disperse coming out from GoPro. Will anyone be able to make it away? It looks like most will. Rogos, though, not so fortunate. Gets hit with the Dragon Tail. They hit him with the track, and they will take the extra money.
Meanwhile, Broodmother on the mid lane trying to... A lot of pressure. Sitting on 3,000 gold almost. Queen of Pain needs to get that Yule Scepter ready up. She decided to go for Power Threads, which delays the Yule Scepter. Like, you just want to have the brown boots when you see that Broodmother is having such a good time and is gonna rush an Orchid. Oh, it's gonna be... I hope he goes for a full Bloodthorn right away. He just bought Crystallis, so this opens up a Roche easily for them. With Orchid, Broodmother ulti, Medallion.
Yeah.
Oh, alright. Seems
not
like they
enough.
know something is up.
The respect here for Cole. I've been surprised. I thought they would have felt so confident at that point they could have moved in and gotten it done. But that might explain it. A crash apparently here on the compLexity side. They're going to have to reevaluate things a bit. But there's plenty of offensive capabilities here for compLexity to do as they please. Whereas GoPro, it's like it feels like that burden just really only falls on the Lifestealer here. If this Queen of Pain has to go for the Yule Scepter now, can't help but feel like that's just more utility and more defensive for herself. I don't know where all the extra firepower is going to be coming from here from GoPro.
Yeah, and Abaddon has decent farm. He got the last hit on a gyro, so that's some gold in his pockets. Sitting on drums, like he needs to build an item that they can fight with, so drums is the perfect choice. Building into some armor, Solar Crest against the Broodmother and Gyro Dragonite is always a good idea. So what do we have? A vision game. This ward on the left side from compLexity. This ward provides so much vision where they're farming. Like also the bottom lane, if they're gonna go for this camp near the shrine or the one furthest from the shrine. So the good wards to set up ganks. Also, you have a Broodmother who has webs around the mid lanes. She can easily enter any of these camps.
Yeah. Curious to see if compLexity decide to rally behind Chessie's mid lane push here, probably for a little bit, and then get back to the Roche. I'm sure both eyes are going to be on that right now. Look at this GoPro popping the smoke. I got to say, this is like only the second smoke of these two games. The smoke game is just not as pungent as it used to be, but GoPro trying to make something out of it right now. Can't quite find any targets that they're hoping to get a hold of here, but they do manage to pressure the lane on forward. Start eyeballing the Roche pit here. Are they thinking about doing it themselves?
Nah, they don't have enough damage. Plus they can be easily scouted by Bounty or some spiders. Yeah. The problem is they don't have that initiator, again, in the second game as well. So Like, the way they're gonna initiate the fight is the smoke or surprise them or wait for complexity to make a move on them.
Moves are being made now. Complexity start to move on into the GoPro territory here, or at least where they're trying to hold ground.
Radiant's bottom tower
More like
is under
Complexity
attack.
trying to get some map space back so they can easily secure the rest of that Roche. They're getting that assistance as Chessie has just bombarded down that mid lane. Bottom lane here is also pushed forward, or yeah, bottom lane is also pushed in quite a bit. It's going to force Scourge to go back. And now's that window of opportunity. Complexity move themselves right to the pit.
Look at these red numbers. Do the math. Just add them up. Just kidding. It's way too hard. Like, he's been trying to get the Bloodthorn for quite some time. Already has 600 extra gold in his pockets.
Ooh. Sorry, we see Husky poking in. He's going to get hit with the track now. He might have to use the Yules to remove that bit of excess vision. But Cole are determined to hold this one for themselves, but it's just so awkward. Now that Nyx jumps into this Golem, makes it less easy to target. Jump out here from the Dark Willow, turning back and around, looking to go for the Abaddon here. Back to the low ground now. It's save. Tries to weasel in from behind. He gets easily isolated and taken apart. And now the attention going to be put onto the Queen of Pain here. Husky tries to Yules up and blink on out in a bit of trouble. Kitrak very low as well. Is going to be taken down. Scourge with the finish on that one just before he gets that track off. And now the attention on the Scourge. Big sonic wave, but not a big amount of damage. That damage coming back from the form of Complexity here. They will get 3 down all day. Complexity will lose 2, but still have plenty of firepower, they feel, to move back into the Roche and get it finished.
Yeah, the problem is they don't have anything to control these fights. If they use Rubicliff, if they use Lifesteal or open wounds, they're gonna get a kill or 2, but after that, if Complexity feels threatened, they can just run away. So Broodmother with the Aegis, full Bloodthorn, this gives them so much kill potential. Queen of Pain finished. Yule Scepter, Abaddon has to be careful about being in the front lines. He still goes down way too quickly. They just pop the ulti, and then he needs to be careful about where he's gonna stand at.
He should not be forced to be in these situations where he has to think so much about himself and what he needs to do to survive, when really it feels like the pick was originally picked up so that he could be that utility for everyone else on his team. But this whole game has been about him saving himself. It feels like a move and a kill like that. On to save. Poor little Rubik has just been paper for Complexity.
I love those numbers coming out from Bloodthorn when all the fighter attacking. It just feels like bleeding damage.
All right, pressure. Husky's trying to keep the bottom lane back. Sees Z-Freak here. Has a little waking surprise in the form of a Scourge McDuck Lifestealer, but it's Z-Freak creating a bit of space here because the rest of his team are already invading inside the base of GoPro. The top lane in a lot of trouble now. Attention being put onto this tier 3 tower. Now the move forward coming out from Abaddon, forcing back Moo. Moo getting slowed down quite a bit. They're going to get him with the telekinesis to pull back now. Bursting a lot of damage. Can they get the finish? He turns around, manages to get the help of takedowns of 2. They take 2 apiece. Frogos.
Nyx doesn't even have a TP here. Back home.
Running his ass all the way back through this mid lane. Will scratch at Chessie a bit, but not really a big factor in this fight. It is a 2 for 2 if you factor in that Z-Freak pickoff, but, you know, some good damage onto the base here. Complexity continuing to flex themselves on forward.
Yeah, they still have Aegis on a Broodmother, full BKB on her. She just needs to buy it.
Another smoke here from GoPro's side. But Chessie looks like he did make the purchase. We got a BKB coming out and away here. They are loaded. They are farming the side of GoPro right now. Just have total control, it feels like, of the map at the moment, but GoPro do have their sneaky tactics here. They are still doing the backpack Queen of Pain here for a good old blink bomb, but they're not coming up to find anyone. Looks like they've drawn out a line down the mid lane to try to cut the lane back a bit, but full steam ahead here for Complexity.
Yeah, they're trying to find a kill, but they're on the wrong side of the map. Complexity just wants to use that Aegis. It's gonna run out pretty soon. BKB is ready to one 10-second, one 9-second BKB, plus a full pipe on a Dragonite. So they're tanky enough. They can tank all the Radiant damage. Queen of Pain is in. You go, Dakota.
Oh, hard move in now. About trying to just flex his chest as much as possible, but now swinging to the back lines. We got Scourge. Go for Kidrak. Kidrak going to be able to step back and away. Hard damage already done, though, to the GoPro squad. They lose 4. A buyback going to be forced out now. Cole to swing on back and look to go for the finish of Scourge, and that will do it. GoPro don't want any more of this. They throw up the flag, and it's going to be compLexity advancing through this lower bracket of Group B. Oh, baby.
Yeah, well, I mean, at the end of the day, compLexity is just a better team. Expected the result, I guess, for everyone. They played better in game number 1. For game number 2, it feels like they were just waiting for compLexity to finish them. They had a better pick in both games, so it's easier to play for a call. Not too much to say about it. The Bounty Hunter again was roaming around freely, not too much dust and Sentries bought from the side of a Radiant. Broodmother had a free farm game. Dragonite had a lot of farm on bottom. Top lane, do we even need to comment about the Baron? Yes, we do. He had 0-7-0 at one point, which is pretty hard to recover.
I mean, how much of it do you put on, just the draft and that last pick, Broodmother? You can't help but feel like that was a pretty significant staple pickup to kind of just shake the whole laning phase and shake the whole game momentum coming out from compLexity. You got to give that nod to Moo or whoever's drafting. Kyle's stepped away from the team, and while a lot of people love to, hate on Swindle, there are a lot of people who also can't deny that he was a pretty good captain and leader, and even had some nice drafting prowess. But compLexity showing that drafting capability is certainly still there, Lacoste.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they still know how to play Dotes, even if Kyle left. I mean, he was probably the most vocal guy on their part of the team, but still others also suggested heroes what they want to pick. It always works like that. I mean, his word might be the last in deciding if they are not confident which hero they're going to pick. If they're trying to choose between 1 to 3 heroes, I guess his word is going to be the last. That's how most of the teams work.
Man, oh man. That was a fun little warm-up. Good to get back into the action here, Lacoste. I know it felt pretty one-sided here. compLexity just trying to have a date to get a rematch, I believe, with Optic Gaming in hopes of being that team to represent America for the MDL Major. But they still have quite a road ahead of them. I'm excited to see more from compLexity. And Kitrak, I only know him now for Bounty Hunter, but I'm curious to see what kind of other support prowess he's able to pull out. For GoPro, I know this is a very new team, a very new squad, a lot of very new names, but I hope that they kind of keep at it here. There's flashes of possible potential there, but to continue to see the depth of this scene grow, it's a nice thing. It's heartwarming.
Yeah, it's true. It's always good to see the new teams coming out. Doesn't formed. Of course, they're playing against a better team with international experience, but they should just try to stick together. There's a lot of qualifiers, a lot of leagues coming out from for those tier 3, tier 2 teams where they can shine, and the competition is good these days, which I'm really happy about.
Could not agree more. Thank you so much, Lacoste. It was a pleasure having you. It was a good little chance to kind of warm up before our trip out to DAC, which I'm looking forward to, and I will see you for that one. If you guys want to continue to send your love to Lacoste, hit him up on his Dota, or on his Twitter at Lacoste Dota. That's right, right?
Thank you, friend.
Okay. Thank you so much, Lacoste. It was always great having you. I'll talk to you again soon. For everyone watching at home, thank you so much for tuning in to a Beyond the Summit casting production here as the MDL qualifiers continue. You can find more Dota across all of our channels right now. But for now, I am done. Thank you so much. Take care, and we'll see you next time for more Dota action. Bye, guys.